Welcome to Spirits and Stories, a place where we slow things down and talk about the moments that shaped us. The stories behind the scars, the victories, the lessons. Every guest brings a journey. So settle in. This one's meant to be felt.
All right. Hey, Paul, welcome to the show, man. Looking forward to
it's great to be here, brother.
Yeah, man. So why don't we dig into a little bit of your military career and start with what brought you to the military?
Oh, man, I tell you, what got me in the military was money. I ain't the first one to say it. I got in 6 years after 9/11. So as you and I both know, the military is built on these 6-year contracts.
Yep.
2001 happened. Everyone goes back. A lot of folks go to Afghanistan. A shit ton of people go to that big Iraq push in March of 2003. And then everyone gets the fuck out. Well, the Army was given money like it was no one's deal. And 18-year-old me, who was not inherently patriotic at this time, discovered that, hey, this is a quick jump to the middle class, and let's go. And so I enlisted as a forward observer because I remember when I got in there, the recruiter gave you all these different jobs, and then he goes, "This is a job where you point and shit blows up." And I go, "That sounds cool." And then he goes, "And it's got a $40,000 bonus." When you're 18 years old, circa 2006, 2007, that's like $1 million.
Yeah.
That's what I got in, brother. And I tell you, I spent through that fucking money so goddamn quick. As you know, you were in for much longer than I was. You have seen every year kids blow through their bonus. You have seen it firsthand. I was that kid.
Yeah. I remember as an NCO, you would see these kids showing up in like Escalades and beautiful cars. And then you walk in their barracks room and they're like sitting on a milk crate with a 10-inch TV because their car payment takes
Yep. And then they're in the field for like a month at a time, and that thing's just collecting dust. And then everyone wants a ride with you.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you become the chauffeur for other drunk soldiers, and it's a recipe for disaster. It truly is.
Yeah. And
nothing
then
good comes from that.
And then you decide, well, I need a TV. So you go get that, at that time we called it the DPP program, the dumb private program, where you could get things on credit from the PX and,
with your star card.
With your star card. Yep. And then it ended up with an appointment with the commander because you didn't pay the bill. And it was just an endless circle, man.
Oh, Donald, I got to ask you. So you told me you got in 94.
Yep.
I have heard legends of the bounced check army. People would do. And if you bounced a check, especially if it was near, and this was not my time, but around the post, they would call and someone would get their ass lit up for bouncing a check. And that apparently was quite often.
Yes. Oh, man. So I had a soldier. Yeah, I'm not going to mention his name because I assume he's still alive. But he didn't die. He didn't die for combat. We put him out of the military. But
failure to adapt or whatever it was. Yeah. I
mean, I knew he was a liar from 10 seconds after I met him.
Yeah.
And he told me that his sister was the first female Navy SEAL.
G.I. Jane herself.
Yep, G.I. Jane herself, which at that time, women, were not allowed in any combat.
Not a thing. Was not a thing.
So, I was like, well, that's interesting. And then he's like 19, but he was master ASC certified. And I was like, wow, okay. And so life goes on. We continue, I just listened to this kid and next thing I know, he'd said he had to go back home because his fiance had a miscarriage. Well, we didn't look into it. He came back and he told us that his dad was a colonel. Come to find out, he was adopted and his dad was actually the sheriff of their community. Never served in the military. So I don't even know why he felt he had to lie about that, but he did. And we know this because as the bad checks started rolling in, we called it
plural.
How about checkbooks? Plural. Not even like a few checks. No. So I help him get his pay put into a different bank account, so he's at least not money. I mean, he's negative $3,000 or $4,000 in his other account.
Jesus.
And I'm working with that bank to try to help him get a budget and get all this fixed. And so at that point, my new job becomes, I'm going to drive you around and pay your bills and watch you do it to make sure that they got paid. So I take him to back. This is when Singular was a cell company. So it tells you it was a minute ago. And so I take him into there to pay his cell phone bill. And the lady says, which cell phone bill are you here to pay? And I looked at him. I said, how many fucking cell phone bills do you have? And she said, well, there's one for $175. I said, well, that's the one we're here to pay. And she said, the other one is like $4,200. And I was like, looked at him. I said, how the hell do you have a cell? Turns out that was his dad's account that he had put him on. And he never bothered to change like locations or anything. So every phone call was roaming. That was when roaming was
back when that was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, he had this huge ass bill that he stuck with his dad that his dad didn't pay. And so I'm talking with the bank and I run out of, I had him bring his checkbooks in. I ran out of check numbers. And the bank goes, are you ready to go to the next book? I said, the next book. And she said, yeah, there's like 3 more books of
Is this kid next to you the entire time?
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's on.
He just like, is he
he didn't
like dying inside?
He didn't even care, man. He didn't even care. Like,
fuck
like
that guy.
Literally, every day was just an adventure with him. He would like quit showing up for PT. So we would, we would run as a platoon to the barracks and stand outside.
Was he in the barracks? Oh, so he was in the barracks too. Oh,
and
do that game.
I would have to go up and wake him up and bring him out. And I mean, man,
I tell you, there's a lot of things I miss. That sure is that babysitting bullshit ain't one of them.
Yeah.
Like that is, oh my God. We watch all these great movies about, the specialist who does incredible shit and all that stuff. No one tells you how fucked up John Q 18-year-old Joe is.
Yeah.
Like, that is a TV show that needs to be happening.
Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, that was the main reason why I retired. I was like, I'm done, man.
Oh,
I've had enough.
I get it.
The kids, the last kid that I put out in the military, our company commander got in trouble, and the battalion commander for his punishment said, hey, you're going to interview every single soldier in your company. And then you're going to come back and tell me about them and explain how
what did this poor old captain do?
Oh, dude. Yeah. He ended up getting chaptered. Yeah.
Literally 03. Damn.
Yeah.
He fucked up
during deployment. So
and you were the E8 with him?
I was E6 at the time. And
fuck, you were all in that. Oh God. Yeah.
So I brought this kid to him. His name was Thompson. And he asked the kid, he said, so Private Thompson, what brought you to the military? This kid did not fucking hesitate, man. He looked at him, he said, Call of Duty, sir. And the commander said, well, I get that. You probably had parents sign up and serve and you wanted to do something for your country. So I felt you felt, yep.
He was talking about the video game.
And this kid had the dumbest look on his face, man. He looked at me and I looked at the commander. I said, sir, I think he's talking about the video game. And the kid goes, yes, sir. I thought it was going to be like Call of Duty, the video game, but it's not. Can you chapter me?
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's how that commander dude actually was the only he had a few records with me, man. He's the only officer I ever see that got a general letter of reprimand from NTC. That was interesting.
Damn, he got a GOMAR from the National Holy
yeah.
fuck.
Because
he piss off.
Well, he was standing at
his miles gear wasn't perfect.
Oh no,
even was a little off.
Even worse. We were in the box, but where we were set up at, there was a highway that ran in front. That was, a legitimate highway. Civilians are on that highway, but that's where our ECP was just off that road. And so the guy's sitting at the front gate and the commander's up there and this car is driving down and the commander looks at the kid and he said, that car's not stopping. What are you going to do? And he goes,
And this is National Training Center at an entry control point off a highway.
Yep.
Okay.
And the kid looks at me and says, "Sir, that's just a public highway." And he said, "That car is coming towards our road. What are you going to do? You better light it up." And so the kid did, with a 50 cal that had blanks in it. Just so happened to be the general secretary, civilian, female, who damn near wrecked when that 50 cal went off.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is my new fucking favorite story. Oh my God, I love that.
So yeah, he got
is this a GS? Is this a civilian too? Yeah. Like a GS like 7 or whatever?
Yeah, she was a GS civilian.
This poor girl.
Yep. I mean, I bet you she pissed her pants. No way in hell.
I'd be honest, I wouldn't blame her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's going on the ECP in her fucking Acura, and some kids unloading them.
Yeah.
Not get 50 cal on that M2 Browning is about trying to hurt fake feelings with his fake rounds at this poor lady.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. So then we deploy after that. And
this was the old man secretary too.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole post general commander right there.
Holy shit. Oh, the post. Holy
yeah.
Did he have a conversation directly?
Oh yeah.
Three. Were you privy to that? I would love to know how that conversation was.
No, that was
honest. That would where you'd see Soldier Me like jerking off in the background, loving this. I would be that guy. Like, this is the greatest moment of my life observing this. I would love this.
Nobody liked him. His name was like Dosh or Dorsch or something like that.
It's way too close.
We all called him Captain Douche. I mean, that was just his name, man. And
so what NCO fucked up his whole relationship with the Army that where he became that fucked up?
Well, I can tell you that first sergeant I was talking about who was with me on this show, he was the one that ended up getting him relieved.
Love it. Never got the power of a pissed off E8. That's the truth.
He made a bunch of like sexual harassment, like when they were picking.
What years was this around?
So this was right there before my retirement. So it had been 2012, 13.
Oh,
so
no-go time frame. That ain't tolerated. No, this ain't 96. Yeah. That time frame ended. Oh yeah.
So they were going to Afghanistan, and which is where he got relieved from. And
he got relieved in theater.
In theater. Yeah.
What the fuck? Wow. Yeah.
So
like relieved, not assistant to the assistant. S3,
as in your company XO is now your company commander. You are going to be on the next plane headed back to the States, and we will
no change of command, no adjutant walk, just go.
just go back and start clearing because they chaptered him.
No slow flag handoff thing. Get out.
No,
that's incredible.
Wow. Nothing. As a matter of fact, like soldiers was like one day he's in front of the soldiers, and the next day there's this single bar. They're like,
so where was this in OEF?
This would have been in
Flagpole area or far away from it?
No, they were in like Kandahar area, so it was Flagpole area.
Oh, gotcha. So that means that everyone can kind of like watch him depart.
Oh yeah. I mean, it took no time for him. Once he got on a plane, everybody knew. And when he got back, I was on rear D because I was close to retirement, so I had all that. I never seen him. Like he came back. We knew he was coming back.
Oh, he came to you stateside, CONUS.
Yeah. Yeah. He was supposed to work in the S3, but the S shops was like, just clear. No. We don't even want you around here because it's just going to create problems. And so
you can work with the FRG, sir.
Yeah. And what he did was he made comments like, we're going to combat. We can't be taking a lot of women with us. And, so
openly, like publicly?
Oh, publicly. As a matter of fact, he said it to a female E7 who was also the EO. So, I mean, I don't know how dumb you had to be, but
that's Darwinism, buddy. That's Army Darwinism. He was not. I'm surprised he made it that far. I'll be honest with you.
I am too. I am. Yeah, he was
dumb. He wasn't recognized earlier as an XO. Like, this guy needs to go. Yeah,
I don't know how he made it. Man. He came to us as a captain, and like even I knew it was going to be problems even during his chain of command inventories and shit. Because I mean, he was just fucking idiotic, you know, like he's measuring with the screwdrivers. Oh, this is not a number 2. This is a number 1. You can't count that. And so, I mean, he was like trying to stick the old commander, which he did for like $30,000. Yeah.
That poor first sergeant. Oh,
Yeah.
he must have hated him.
He did. He did, man.
And I tell you, you've seen this there is no team that is more powerful than an 03 and an E8 in sync with one another. Oh my God. That is like 12 great leaders and 2 people. Boom. If you got that, there ain't nothing worse than when an E8 and 03 fucking hate each other. Yeah. There is nothing worse than that. Because even though they try to hide it, everyone fucking knows.
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean,
everyone.
Right there before their deployments, man, this guy was like, he was just destroying morale. You know, he would, every Friday, he would come out there and he would tell the soldiers, you know, hey, y'all can go. NCOs, you're going to stay. And since you didn't want to make the soldiers clean, well, you're going to stay here and clean, you know. And what he would
I hate
do,
this guy already.
Oh my God, he would go around and he would like put like soda cans inside Humvees, like inside where the BII and shit goes, you know. This is
just to fuck them on, like they didn't follow through PMCS. Like, is that like
no, like we weren't going around cleaning out the vehicles and making them spotless and shit, you know. Well, I sent a guy out there at 11 o'clock to start going through each of their vehicles, you know. I don't know what to do at 2 o'clock, you know. And I remember like one day I walked into the first sergeant's office, man, and I was in the motor pool, and our platoon sergeant, another E6, comes to me and he says, "Hey, you know, we're staying again, right?" I said, "The fuck I am." I walked into the first sergeant's office. I threw my fucking hat against the wall. I said, "I'm going to tell you something." I said, "If he holds this formation and he releases those fucking soldiers and tells us we're going to stay here and clean, I'm walking the fuck out with them."
Amen.
And he said, "Oh, really?" I said, "I'm done playing these games."
Yeah.
I said, "I've got guys down there. I'm doing services and working them through lunch. We're coming in early, skipping PT and trying to get these vehicles ready for deployments. And you're going to keep me because he hit a soda can in a fucking Humvee?" I said, "I'm done."
I tell you, that is where the E8 needs to step in.
Oh, he did.
Lay down the law. And if that doesn't work, hey, buddy, Sergeant Major, I think you need to have this conversation with the old man. Like that is, I tell you, I hate that shit. Like I've been out for a while hearing this. Like there's so much unnecessary bullshit that
I'm like the easiest guy to get along with too.
Same here, brother. But I tell you, the Army has a way of ruining the most fun things in the world. And then things that you thought would be miserable, you love that you're doing because you just get to fucking sit down and relax. Yeah. I knew it was time for me to get out when I hated going to the range, and I loved it when I had a PowerPoint because I could sit down and zone the fuck out. Like I knew then it's like, oh, I should probably get out now. This is that feel. This is like my whole metric is messed up now. Like whereas I got in to go, shoot guns and do cool shit. Now I can't stand going to the range, and I want to sit down on a PowerPoint because I can fake taking a nap. Because I had the transition glasses that turned dark. Yeah, man. If I did things right, I could do this, and everyone think I was awake.
Yep, I could relate, man. I would find myself driving to work for PT, and I'm like, I just wish a fucking deer would run out in front of me. Let me hit this deer so I have a reason not to show up for 2 days.
Do you remember, like, you had to get a motorcycle? You had to take like this obnoxiously long class. Yes. And I think the only reason they did that is ain't no soldier going to put a helmet on if they don't have to, because soldiers, especially year 5, year 6, year 11, year 12, year 16, they're like looking for an excuse.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, let me tell you how bad it got, right? Every weekend I had to call every single one of my squad leaders, who had to call every single one of their soldiers every day. Mm-hmm. So Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and say, what are you doing today? Are you drinking today? Do you have a plan? Right. And then they would have to report back to me. I would then have to call the first sergeant, give him my status, who then had to call the sergeant major, for the company and say, we're good. Everybody's got a plan.
So
Every
stupid.
single
So
day.
stupid.
Dude, that same kid would never return phone calls. He wouldn't answer phone calls, nothing. Right.
Yeah.
So I told the squad leader, I said, don't worry. I said, I got it. And I
got
showed
it.
up. Yep. I showed up at his door. And
Was he off
like,
post?
yeah, he was off post. I called from his driveway. And when he didn't answer the phone, I walked to his door and knocked on it. Right. And I told him, I said, you're no longer going to respond to your squad leader. I said, you're going to deal with me now. I said, and I'm going to tell you something. I said, you miss a phone call. You don't call me. I said, you're going to go back to fucking zero. And his wife's pregnant, right? And her eyes got fucking this damn big. And so I said, but don't worry about it. You're going to get to see Georgia. You're going to see all sorts of cool shit. And he's like, what do you mean? So I would tell him, like, I would call him at like in the morning time, bright and early, and say, hey, you need to drive to the lighthouse at Tybee Island, stand in front of it, take a picture of yourself, record your plan, and send it to me. And for like the next 2 weeks, he was all over Georgia. I sent him to Brunswick, Echo Island, all over the place.
Love it.
But
well, I tell you, I remember because at least my memory, it could have changed. I could be thinking wrong, but there was a time when the bullshit of the Army was matched with only tolerable thing was that the fun bullshit you got to do. Yeah. Like especially when it came to Joe's, like I remember the fuckery that occurred that you could not do anywhere else. Yep. And that's what made it worth it. And I remember the shit you could say, the things you could do was just a special aspect of the job that made everything else worth it. At least, when you're young and dumb. And I remember the rhetoric, especially the games NCOs would play with fucked up Joes. Yeah. That if I told people that, they wouldn't believe me. Yeah. Like I remember there was like before, and this is off color, so feel free to take this off, Donald, if you need to. But I remember like before the suicide craziness, because we all know soldiers who have done this, but there was a time where this didn't really happen. Yeah. But soldiers would still sometimes, say dumb shit, hey, First Sergeant, I'm thinking about doing this. And First Sergeant be like, let me show you how to make a noose knot. If you do it, go do it in the woods and do it to where it's not a mess. Yeah. And and inside of my time, that completely shifted. And I think what happened with that is that when that occurred, all of a sudden the teeth of what made the NCO world special, which to be honest with you was the embracement of this fuckery behind closed doors, this lack of pen and paper reality, enforcing doctrine that'll also create a culture of acceptance if you're willing to tolerate bullshit, which the Army fucking is. And I think that's gone. And so stories like that, I don't think you could do that now in 2020. No. Like the shit you did in 98, 99 wasn't tolerable in my time. So I think it's kind of unfortunate. Yeah,
it got to the point, man, the old days where you could take that same soldier, like what I was telling you about, and put enough pain on him that you didn't have to ruin his career. You didn't have to fill a full bunch of paperwork. Maybe you gave him a company Article 15 that went away when he left.
Yeah, that disappeared when he PCS'd. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, push-ups and pain and hazing, whatever, it would make great leaders eventually down the road, or they would do their time and get out,
And I am not special in this, but I remember carrying a plant because I was wasting oxygen because I would say a dumb thing. I remember soldiers carrying a big clock because they were late. I remember that. I mean, this was not a unique experience. This was a relatively common thing in my time. I don't think that happens anymore. I think the pin gets out of the ACUs, shows my age there. But I think the pin comes out of the ACUs too quick instead of NCOs just destroying a soldier for 3 days and then he immediately comes better. Versus a counseling statement with teeth on it. That could, be honest with you, fuck up a whole 19-year-old's life.
Yeah. And you could potentially lose a good leader down the road.
That quick.
Yep.
That quick. And
I remember the first time I got in trouble. I had a kid that just wouldn't shave. And so I made him take a disposable razor and I drilled a hole through the end of it and made him wear it on his dog tags. And then
I love it. Love it.
then every day he had to shave every hour. Every hour he was at work, he had to shave. And JAG, I got in trouble because they said I was hazing. And I was like, well, it seems like the punishment fits the crime. I don't know about hazing. And they were like, yeah, but you're making him wear something around his neck, and it's humiliating him and demoralizing him. And I'm like, so I should just write Article 15s and eventually chapter this kid.
Yeah. So I should also, this is my hot take as well. There was also a humor in this, even if it was in your direction. Like when I fucked up, and I fucked up all the time. When that was me. Yeah, totally. Yeah. You know, like I'm wearing this clock because I'm late. You know, like you embrace the ridicule. Because that really is that thick skin that's going to help you get that ass chewing when you're that E6 and you basically get an ass chewing for a living. Like, that's, you know, people think being a Joe's hard. People don't realize, like, you're getting yelled at for shit that's not even your fault. Like, that's your life.
Oh, yeah, dude. I remember my first NCO as a private. My first duty station was Korea. So, you know.
You got juice?
Huh?
You got juice? You got juice?
Yeah. But, I mean, I remember the first time I showed up drunk, you know. Had I done that later, oh, my God, dude, my career had been over. Instead, I probably was the first drunk crab walking dude in the world. I mean, he crab walked the shit out of me. You know, you could smell alcohol coming out of me, you know, and this dude smoked the hell out of me from day one. He had one of those eyes that was like, I'm fucking going to check out over here while he's got one eye here. He comes walking day one, never met this guy. He comes walking towards me and he's like, why are you wearing your hat? And I'm looking like this, like, who the fuck is he talking to? You know? Dude, he smoked the shit out of me because he thought I was making fun of me.
Yeah.
You know, I miss those days, man. That was when it was fun. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I was the guy. Absolutely. And I remember I would even do things that was not really bad, but I would do it to bring some humor into the room. And I knew I'd get punished for it. You know, like, you know, I would, back in the day, they used to have these stupid lanyards that you could put your CAC in.
Yeah.
And I would wear it. And every NCO, like when I was a Joe, was like, oh, what the fuck is that? Get rid of that. You know, like that was a whole thing. So I would wear it all the time.
Yep.
I was never a bad soldier, but I was 19. I was 18. And I remember like, what the fuck is that? And I go, I believe that's called a lanyard, which was me just fucking up, you know, being, you know, nothing heinous. And that was something, and he knew it. I knew it. And I love this guy. And he's still my friend to this day. I wish that was still in the Army. Because when you, in our era, there were times where you went from TRADOC land to a unit and you went to war with them. Like weeks fucking later. And nothing efficiently builds camaraderie. Nothing builds quicker a culture that you feel like you're a part of. I hate to say it, than those little bit of fuck games. Yeah. And I wish that was still around. Because I can't imagine going into an office environment and having that office culture in the Army before I go to war. I'm glad I did not have that.
Yeah, man. I had squad leaders, you know, young squad leaders, you know, after 9/11, people got promoted fast. And
buddy, you're looking at one here. I got promoted way too damn fast.
Yeah, some of these guys were really young, and I
was a 21-year-old E5.
Yeah,
ridiculous. Should have never been the case.
I would have to remind them, hey, you know that guy you keep fucking with, it won't be too much longer, and he's going to have live rounds. I'm just reminding you, you know. And
you and I both know there's some people who get access to things, and you wonder about their mental abilities to function.
Dude, it happened in our unit. We had a couple, you know, this is Fallujah. So this was late, like literally.
Like first battle of Fallujah? Like
no, like 2010, 2011. Like we're getting ready to hand it over to the Iraqis. You know, the Iraqis were already living there. And Fallujah at that time was the size, you know, we occupied the size of like a football field. So it was tight. I mean, there was no privacy anywhere. People were living in 3 or 4 people to a room. And these 2 soldiers complained that their roommate was living like a pig. And
which happens.
It does.
Quite often.
You know,
you get 1 or 2. Yeah.
The squad leader goes in there and sees that there's a bunch of MRE wrappers underneath the kid's bunk and all that shit. So he decides to play fuck around. You know, he told the other 2 guys, hey, you guys leave. And he made him empty that fucking room, clean the whole room, and put it back. Nothing different than what I would have done years ago.
Non-issue. Yeah.
He walked back like a couple hours later and walked in that room to see if the guy was done. Everything was in the room. The kid was sitting on the bunk. E5 walks into the door, and the kid put 2 rounds in him. Killed him.
Jesus Christ.
Over fucking just
control paradigm, huh?
Yep.
Fucking A.
Piss poor living conditions, mental stability. I don't know what it was. I didn't even know the kid that did it. It was in one of our line companies. So
I got to tell you, and I both know when I hear that story, I think of the amount of bullshit that came afterwards.
Oh,
the amount of shit that, the amount of,
God,
fuck that. Just because someone just broke mentally.
Yep.
How
do you tell somebody's family that they were killed on base? You know,
by another
soldier.
I mean, that's
fucking
A, man. We had a guy who didn't shower. Won't say his name, but we found out you could get, there's a DSN number for like prison powder soap.
I believe it. Yeah.
So we would take his ass out back and throw this powder soap at his ass. And this dude was a big dude. He might have passed height and weight if he was 9'3" or something, but he was a big dude, and it was just game on him. And we just threw all this like stuff on him and literally got a hose. I mean, like, it was bad. I mean, the optics of this, bad. But back then, it was a different army, and we were far enough from the flagpole. You can get away with this shit a little bit. And I look back on that, and again, the stories you can't tell people. But we also had a guy. We've had numerous folks fake suicide. Putting a round, 5.56 round from the light bulb. I wonder how hot this got to be for it to go off as he's looking at the chaplain, you know, like that kind of shit. That existed. And then you got to do suicide watch on that guy. But we've also, when we were doing right seat, left seat, the unit that was before us, guy was, trying to Steven Seagal, like his M9, and shot another soldier. And this was at the end of their fucking deployment.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, I'm not for E4s and below having M9s. That should not be, unless you're in your SOF community, unless you got like group in your fucking, unit's name, you don't need an M9 as an E4 and below. And this guy was, being John Cool Guy and shot his buddy, and he died right there.
We had a kid in the 160th that he was fucking around with his gun and shot himself in the leg. Right. And, the company, the battalion commander told him, he said, don't worry about it. He said, you're going to lose your rank. He said, but I'm not going to do it until you can stand in front of me. So he held that damn Article 15 over him for months while this kid, went through rehabilitation and everything, was able to stand without crutches. And he did, he gave him an Article 15, busted him.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because he didn't fuck him on money, and that's already challenging enough. I kind of respect that.
Yeah. That whole soft community, man, it's a whole nother world.
I really like that. Yeah. Whereas I was you'd go on like a 18-hour fucking thing where you're in this was before the MRAPs and the air conditioned bullshit. You'd be in these fucking hot ass vehicles for fucking hours, and people are barely able to like function. Like, you could hear it on the radio back in the Singar era, people just fucking dying, exhausted. And, you get a guy and he's like an E3 who's been up for 23 hours doing like real work outside the wire. So his heart is in his fucking chest, his kidneys is in his ass. I mean, like, those Humvees bounce enough to begin with. You throw that scare variable at him, round goes off in the fucking barrel. Now, I am all for punishing a kid for a negligent discharge. And I was in the era where they went and they started calling it negligent discharges. They used to call it accidental or whatever the fuck they used to call it. But I do believe there's like a 0.1% where you don't fuck a kid's career over.
Yeah.
And it bothered me that almost every 04 that did it got a slap on the back. But Joe E3, who's fucking exhausted, lets a round off and then immediately goes, fuck, sorry, and fixes it real quick. Then he finds out the next day he's fucked. Like, I just rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing what those double standards are. Yeah.
It is absolutely crazy. So let's dive into a little bit about what did you do when you got out?
So I was a crazy, the Army. I went to the Citadel. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's a drinking school, military problem. I went to the Citadel, but to be honest with you, every year I was in the Army was the year I was getting out. They just dangled new shit in front of me that I liked, and I just stayed a little longer.
Me too.
I got out as soon as I could. Not going to bullshit you. I got out. I was blessed with the opportunity to go work in the UK. I was a UK parliamentary fellow. That sounds really dope, but it was kind of cool. Happy to talk about that for a bit. Then I did humanitarian work in the Republic of Armenia because my deployment in Afghanistan set me in a different kind of headspace where I was a little bit like, let's try the other end of the world. Let's go be a fucking hippie. So I did hippie shit in the Republic of Armenia for 3 years. Had a great time there. Then I had a horrible job with Amazon. I did 3 years of corporate Amazon in New York City with this Southern accent. That was fucking horrible. Golden handcuffs, man. That was some good money. And then after that, started my own business.
Yeah, man.
That's what was nutshell, brother.
So what was your humanitarian work like?
I was a professor of English at Kavar State University. I worked with the Ministry of Education on teacher curriculum. So a lot like if you ever did counterinsurgency, like school building shit in Afghanistan, anything like that, you notice that they beat the shit out of students. Yeah. And they just kind of, that teaching methodology is called teacher-centric methodologies. The Soviet Union was the same fucking way. So when the Soviet Union turned into the Russian Federation and all their former satellite countries, they still like do that method of teaching. And so our whole thing was like, switch that up, make it student-centered, not teacher-centered. And that was when USAID was a thing. That ain't a thing no more, but it was in my time. And the whole thing was doing that. And I was in Armenia. So I was surrounded by all these Kim Kardashians, living the fucking dream, brother. It was nice.
Yeah, man. All you hear about Armenia is all the the human trafficking and all the mob type stuff,
Oh, buddy. Oh yeah.
That guys don't fuck around.
Oh yeah. There's some credit card fraud in California, and that's all like Armenian mafia. It's not as big as it used to be.
Yeah.
But it was a big thing in the 90s. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But Armenia, the country, is super fucking, well, at least it was. It's not as corrupt as it used to be, but it was very corrupt. Oh yeah. I got to see some of that firsthand. That was kind of interesting. You really start to, when you go and deploy in the Army, you bring America with you.
Yeah.
Like, especially like when I was in Afghanistan, they literally took away all the McDonald's and everything, but there used to be that on post, or excuse me, in the country. When I was there, it was just green beans and DFACs. But like I remember Allah Salim still had shit though in Kuwait. But when I was over there, it was like the beginning of Borat. I don't know if you ever saw that. That's where I lived in, was basically like donkeys, dragging old cars. Like that was exactly what it was like. Best 3 years of my life, brother. Fucking loved it,
man. I bet.
You
ain't wrong. The last time I left Kandahar, you can have a pizza delivered from Pizza Hut to your tent.
No kidding. Yep. No kidding. I remember when I first got done. Where did I fly into? I think it was Disney. That's right. Disney's on Bagram. Yep. So I went over to Bagram and I went to Disney, and they had a sloop bus, and they had a barbecue tent Tuesdays, and they had surf and turf Thursdays with actual like seafood and shit.
Yeah.
Like, and Afghanistan, as you know, that's a landlocked country. They ain't got no fucking oceans.
No.
And so I was just, I got none of that shit. So I remember like, wow, this is really nice. And they're like, nah, man, you got to go to the Pizza Hut. I was like, is this war? Sign my ass up. Because I was rich as fuck. Because you and I was no wife, no kids. I was rich as fuck. Like I've never been, I got him home. I was the richest I've ever been. And I got my bonus in country, which even though it was a sign-on bonus from listing, I still had to pay a little bit of tax on it. But I don't think it was the rate that I normally would have paid. And it was, man, I was rich as fuck, bro. I was the richest 20-year-old that ever lived. That was good times.
I bet, man. I bet. Yeah.
There's some girls who, I paid for their medical school when I came home. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. I mean, during my military career, I'm sure I put a few strippers through college. I have no doubt.
That's what they told me. They needed to pay for med school. And you know what? I'm civic minded.
I don't think any of my strippers were in med school. Maybe GED.
Are you saying they might have lied to me? I'm shocked by
Yeah.
this. Are you saying Bubbles was lying to me? I'm shocked. Bubbles and Cinnamon would never do that to me.
No. They loved you, man. They loved you. Long time.
They loved me for me. At least for me. They loved me for me.
Yeah. It wasn't the dances.
It wasn't the dances. It wasn't the chronic ATM visits with a $10 charge on my USAA account. None of that.
Absolutely. Well, let's dive into your business, man, because I know we're getting close to the top of the hour. Let's talk a little bit about how did that start?
Well, I don't sound like it. That's on this podcast, but I'm a huge history guy. I'm arguably an historian in Middle Tennessee. So what I've done is I created a business that combines all the things I've learned and whatever I've been to. And the big thing about that is the Army. And this is a really weird thing to say, but it's accurate. The Army gave me the gift that the worst days of my life already happened. And I interpret that as a gift. So fucking A, man, I've already had, like, nothing could beat these days. Like, everything's easy from then on. And that's a fucking gift, as long as you choose to interpret it that way.
Yep.
I see a lot of people who don't, but I choose to. But so I had to do a business of the three things I loved, man. Love history, love public speaking, and I love fucking making money. That's the God's honest truth, brother. Combine all three of those, that's my baby. That's Nashville Ventures. We're veteran-owned, operated, majority staffed. We got special forces operators working for us. We got professors of history at Liscum working for us. And it is pound for pound the best thing I've ever done with my life so far. Because we give 1% back to veterans nonprofits. That's Operation Stand Down in Nashville, as well as we made a community and leadership scholarship that we're going to give 2 or 3 of those out this year. Awesome. And it combines all the things that I kind of wish existed when I got out.
Yeah.
And there's one thing I tell you, and you've done it yourself, Donald, and I love it. You're like, I want to do this. I'm going to fucking do it. And you did it. You got a kick-ass podcast. I wanted to create a place where it was the best of the Army without the bullshit of the Army. Yeah. You know, it's a group of dudes together. We have one lady who is ADA, Connie, and she's wonderful. But you get us all together. We're walking fucking HR nightmares. You get us, but when we're all separated, we all have a specificity, a specialization. I'm the history whiskey guy. I'm all that shit, especially war history. Ben is ghost history. Connie is our bachelorette fucking whisperer. And you got Cody, who is probably pound for pound knows more about country music than anyone I've ever met. And so all of us together have this great company, and we've killed it. Hitmaker of the year, Tennessee General Manager of the year. Just found out we got Nashville's 40 under 40. So we're killing it. And that's only because we embrace the shit that we learned in the Army. Yeah. That's the God's honest truth, man.
Yeah, I think, that is the one part about the veterans. I don't care when you came in, when you got out. It's if you realize that what the Army taught you to do was just not give up, and, which is a double-edged sword. That's one of the reasons why we do have the problems that 100%. We have with veterans is they don't know when to quit. It's you watch these veterans dig this hole and you say, hey, are you done digging that hole? And they're like, fucking hold my beer. I can dig deeper,
I want this to suck more.
Yeah. And on the other side of that saying, another guy that says, hey, I don't know anything about what I'm about to do, but I'm going to fucking, just full send it. Yeah. And businesses like yours just become amazing, podcasts like this. It was just about the too stupid to give up,
Amen. And I'll give another hot take, especially when it comes to veterans in business. I was blessed with the opportunity to speak at the panel at the West Point Entrepreneur Summit in Nashville and all these other events. And I just wish there wasn't a cult around veterans entrepreneurship and high-ranking individuals. Whenever you go to these business events, on starting businesses and entrepreneurship and even franchises and shit, they find this random 2-star who is the JSOC XO in 2006. And God bless that dude. I couldn't have done that. That's awesome. But I'd rather get the E4 that got out, started a plumbing business, has 9 employees, and kids going to school for nothing because daddy can afford it. And he's got a 4-bedroom house that's worth $1 million.
Yep.
Like I wish there was a glorification in veteran entrepreneurship circles with veterans who do kick-ass businesses.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear about the 2-star who did things in 2006.
Yep.
Like cool stuff, just not in this format. Show me that E5 who, fucking lays down Cat 4 cable or some shit and just makes bank doing it. Like that's, I think we're the vet community is kind of failing itself with being able to pivot well on the reality that the military gives you a set of skills that makes you unusual, makes you special even. But the 2-star who stayed in uniform since he's 18 years old at West Point don't count.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
you take any veteran that got out with an honorable discharge, and the one thing they're all going to have in common is they can't stand to be considered as they failed.
Yes.
Yes. It literally bothers them. And when I got out, I was not in the right place of mind. I was planning suicide.
There too. Yeah.
And
damn, brother.
I never even looked for a job. I kind of dabbled, I guess, but I couldn't find anything. So I started a trucking company.
I love it.
Other than knowing how to work on them, I didn't know shit about the transportation world, And so I bought a truck. I went straight to a place and leased on hauling chemicals, bulk chemicals,
It's money.
And, I made great money. I mean,
stupid money. Because you had the CDL with that special thing on it.
Yep, hazmat, whole 9 yards.
All of that. Yeah. That's money.
And when you're hauling things like sulfuric acid and chemicals that people have to look like astronauts to deal with, you get paid,
Yeah. Stupid money.
Yeah. And then, you pick some stuff up at the port, I was making $300 an hour to pick shit up at the port, bring it out, set it down, and take an empty back in,
Fucking A, bro. Love it.
It's just insane, and had I been,
did you get those credentials in the Army?
So this is the cool part, right? I did not, I got my CDL by using my military license to transfer it over. They started that program where
know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
So if you have your company commander or whoever I had that lieutenant that took over for our company commander sign, saying that I was good, but you take this format, you give them a copy of your military license, the commander signs this waiver form, and then you take the written test. It's 2 different written tests you take, and they hand you a CDL. No driving test, no nothing, right?
Oh shit.
And
the Army should have been doing that 30 fucking years ago.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And then the only other thing I did do, because I thought I was going to be a company driver, I wasn't planning on buying a semi truck at that point. And
you're smart for doing that though.
I 100%, and it was just luck, man. I was going to drive team with another one of my NCOs that was underneath me. And a week before we went to Schneider's fucking school of hell, he got a letter saying that his license had been suspended for back child support. And so when I talked to Schneider and found out what I was going to make as a solo driver, I was like, well, fuck, I can't even live on that. It's like $500 a week, Yeah. So I bought a truck and went that route, and
I love
it just worked. I did it for 6 years until COVID hit. When I left, I was pulling flatbed, and I was good at it, man. But I just wasn't in the right mind space.
You're the person that should be giving these speeches, not the 2-star at JSOC who's never created an LLC out of nowhere and doesn't know the difference between a C Corp, S Corp, and LLC. You're the guy who's been there, done that, happened to get there by luck, and you can give the information well and authentically about what someone on their about to send in their retirement packet doesn't know.
Yeah,
you don't need to work for this fucking person. Do your own fucking thing. And if you fail, you can still go work for them. Like that's still going to be there. And Army does not do a good job, and us vets don't do a good job of broadcasting that well. Success is being on the board of Raytheon. Success done. The thing is you make just as much as that guy from fucking Raytheon. You know, like you're fucking killing it. And most people don't realize that.
Yeah. My mom got sick. And I was in Georgia when I had that trucking company. And then COVID hit and things just got really, really shitty really quick. So I closed my business and I took a job, never, other than the military, I'd never worked for anybody as an adult. So I took a job in the mining industry, corporate America, right? Yeah. Fucking hated it. And I left that job and went to another place, corporate America, and fucking hated it. And fate is what will always set you right? It will put you on the path, no matter how much you fight it, of where you're supposed to be. And so I got fired from that job. They didn't like, I guess, my attitude, but
jealous of your beard.
That's probably exactly what it was. And I'm going to say this because it really does piss me off.
Hey, brother.
Have you ever noticed that every CEO on their fucking desk has a book wrote by a Navy SEAL talking about leadership?
I can't fuck it, bro. That's my hill to die on. I just think immediately less of that person.
Yeah, I do too. I left that mining company because the CEO handed me a book from that SEAL and said, you should read this book. It'll teach you about leadership. And I looked at him and said, I've probably done everything that fucking SEAL's done. Yeah. So
100%.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So with your business, the way it works, how does a customer, they come and you're taking them on these adventures and explaining what's happening in those areas. Is that how it kind of works, like a touring company?
100%. Absolutely. Nashville Adventures does history tours, pub crawls, ghost tours, private events, corporate events, Civil War tours, everywhere in between. We get 1% back. That's our whole shtick. 1% of revenue, not profit. And we're doing pretty damn good. You can see us at NashvilleAdventures.com. And to be honest with you, if you use Music City 15 as a promo code, veterans, if you're active duty, just message us. We'll put you on any tour you want for nothing. But if you want to get 15% off your whole family, Music City 15, and we'll take it off right then and there. Especially if someone's from Fort Campbell, even if they're a Rakkasan, we'll take care of them. Even if they're a Rakkasan, and we'll take care of
them. Does that discount go to our new sisters in the field of what is it? What are they called? Space Wars or Space Force?
I don't know. I don't think I think that's fake, man. I think that's I don't know if that's real. I think that's, Air Force space mission is still part of the Air Force. I don't know about that. But of course. It's funny. One of my best friends from the Citadel is a major in the Space Force.
Really?
He was in the Air Force in the Space Missile Command nerd sphere. And he went over there. And it's always interesting because he has shot a weapon, I think, 4 times. And he's been in since 2012, which different military, baby. Different military.
Don't count as weapons, man.
It's crazy. And what he shot was like a pistol. That's the only thing he shot. Crazy. Yeah.
Well, you'll have to introduce us, man. I'd love to have him on the show. I've never had anybody from Space Force on. So I'd love
he's active duty. I don't know if he'd be brave enough to do that, to be honest with you. He might have to wait till he gets out. You can't be as open like we are here when you're still active duty land.
That's true, man. Well, brother, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and how they can sign up for some of these tours and learn some awesome stuff?
Yeah, man. NashvilleAdventures.com. We look forward to hearing and seeing everybody who wants to join us. Yeah, if you go to NashvilleAdventures.com, you'll see all the tours we provide, but also we can be found on Tours by Foot, Tours by Local, Viator, TripAdvisor, Expedia, any other online travel agency. You'll find us. We're the best at what we do. We look forward to having everyone check us out.
All right, man. I hope all of y'all, especially if you're in that Nashville area. So if you're one of the artists that are on my station, man, go check them out and learn a little bit about the history and have a great time, man. Unwind. I love tours, especially ghost tours. I took a few in Savannah. So I got kin that are living in Nashville. So the next time I'm in that area, I'm going to hit you guys up and hit some tours.
Do not tempt us with a good time. We'd love to see you, buddy. Honest to God,
right.
Please do.
Well, I hope all of y'all had a good time. Remember, don't let the day kick your ass. Kick the day's ass.